going on, guys? We are back with another video. We got the GT500 Nightmare. It's what we voted on. You guys had a bunch of comments on it. Nightmare, it's black. It's gonna give you guys a nightmare if you line up next to it. Or me when it breaks. You know, that's how it goes. Speaking of broken, we took this car out to street car bragging rights. We had an awesome time. Obviously, we didn't have a winning time, which is what we were going for. I think we were set up pretty well. But as you guys know, since we put the power glide in the car, the torque converter has not really been the best. Spool up time on the trans brake takes a really long time. And we got this setup used, and this converter just wasn't spec'd right. So the spool up time took longer and longer and longer. We managed to go down, I think, a 820 or so at a 170 or something, 168. So we got the car to go down, but in round one of eliminations, we were qualified perfect in a 7.9 with a 7.8 breakout class. But round one, we did a spicy burnout, and we think the sprag let go in the converter. So today we're gonna drop the fluid out of the pan. We're gonna drop the pan, and we're gonna make sure this transmission is good. We also have a Cameron's torque converter. So this should be spec'd really well. My good friend Jason, 2 Chains, he swears by this. He calls it the blue paint convert. I don't know. This is not a billet bolt together converter like we have here. This is a very expensive converter, which we're gonna fix and probably sell or keep as a spare. But this thing right here, although it's still not cheap, is cheaper than the billet one, but it should hopefully spool up faster. It'll also have less slip out the back on the track, and this is gonna get us closer to my goal, which is somewhere around a 7.5, 7.3 in this trim. We have a lot more plans to cage, you know, a 25.5 or a 25.3, but for now we're just trying to basically run that 7.9 to 820 class, but we want to be able to have a 7.5 or 7.3 tune-up on tap. Start dropping the fluid, we'll pull the pan and start pulling the trans. The fluid is definitely dark.
Still looks kind of red.
Yeah. I don't see any.
But it's more brown than it is red.
Yeah. Definitely. It's got a smell. It's not the worst thing I've smelled in my life, though.
This pan wasn't clean, so it's hard to.
Yeah, the pan.
You can't really.
Dirty. So we're gonna let this drain out, and then we'll pull the pan off and see what we have in the bottom. And we're hoping we don't see, you know, metal, clutch material, stuff like that.
Hopefully not a ton of shinies. Hopefully no chunks.
Yeah, it drove in here, and it actually seemed relatively fine. So it doesn't feel like it's super messed up.
But it did not want to get on the trans brake.
No, I did try the trans brake just for shits, and it still felt like it was pretty much locked.
What we got there, bud?
Oh, shoot!
Oh, that's way fuller than I thought.
Yeah, how we empty this thing? You got some sparklies, a little, but
it's a tram, it's kind of normal. I say you give her a pour in here, and then let's see if there's anything kind of sludgy, like, you know, sludgy metal kind of hanging down there on the bottom. Yeah, this is gonna be a giant mess.
There's some sparklies.
Uh-oh. Take a look.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna get she's
gonna go chunks too.
Yeah, she's gonna go get rebuilt, buddy. That's probably, I think I looked at a rebuild on one of these. Yeah, damn it. It's not too bad. These are pretty easy.
The chunks are what's kind of crazy.
Probably part of the band.
Yeah, probably. Or the converter.
Oh, wasn't it a Cletus video? I watched James rebuild their power glide. It's so simple, which is cool. But yeah, that's not
not ideal.
That could be part of the sprag too that came apart too. You know.
Yeah, but if that thing came apart and it started sending all this junk through the whole trans, you know, you don't really want that.
Yep.
And if it's not, if we're talking a matter of a couple $100 to get this thing refreshed, it's probably worth it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd probably.
Cooked, buddy. We kind of knew this.
Kind of saw it coming.
Yeah, unfortunately.
All right. Well, I say let's put this pan back up on there. How's our valve body looking?
Good.
Our
Hey.
filter's pretty nasty though.
Does it have an internal dump valve? Dog, it has an internal dump. We just weren't using it the whole time. We were using the external dump valve the whole time. It has an internal. Damn, brother.
Dude, we could have had this thing spooling up so much better.
Yeah, we could have broke the converter in even faster time.
Yeah, what the heck?
Damn, brother. All right, well, that's cool. Good find. It looks shiny and cool. So,
And expensive.
yeah, all we're gonna do, we're just gonna pop this back on and get this over for the old refresh.
We'll drop it, bud. Man, dude, that sounds like me after Taco Bell.
Come on, dipstick. Oh, look at that.
Oh.
It's a quick connect.
Quick connect.
That's sick.
Hell yeah.
I wish I knew that before I started yanking on it. All right, we're all clear, right?
Oh yeah. Sheesh. Got ourselves a freaking trans motion, dude. Got the Glide loaded up in everyone's favorite truck. Shop truck, dude.
Dude, Lightning's the best thing ever.
Honestly, this was probably one of the best purchases / acquisitions ever, man.
The Fox Body, I just had no purpose for it, and I love dailying this. I mean, I love my truck, my F-250, but like
We're taking good care of this unit.
Yeah. So I was just informed that this is not supposed to do that. Is that correct? This is not supposed to do that. So this is not supposed to. Okay, so cool. Converter, expensive, might not be bad, but that might be bad. Okay, so Nightmare GT500. A little bit of time has passed. We actually got the Glide freshened up. What did we break? Because it actually wasn't the converter.
Pump. Turns
Broke a
out
pump.
the pump needs to
Pump. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did a basic refresh, new pump on this, and hopefully should be good to go.
Clutch is still all that jazz, but biggest unit is right there.
What is that? Because we're going from a bolt together converter to not a bolt together converter.
The ATI bolt together that we had in it,
Yep.
but it was just the wrong stator.
Yeah.
So it didn't work too good, and then the pump might have been already going bad, or maybe it caused pump problems. I don't know. But this is Cameron's torque converter services, 10-inch converter. This is what we use. I use in all my customer stuff. Goes in once. We don't have to do anything with it unless we make like major changes from, what we told them it was.
What kind of 60 foots are we looking at right here?
Enough to break this transmission or rear end in two. So
So the goal is to have not as much slippy off the line and not
you
as
want
much.
some slip. You want it to get up in the power band quickly, but
But we left on 20 pounds of boost,
and it was not slipping like it should.
and then out the back.
Slipping like crazy. So it was crazy tight down low and then crazy loose up top. This is going to be the opposite. So it's going to flash really good. So when you let off the brake, it's going to go right into the power band. It's going to couple. And then we'll shift it at whatever makes it happy.
Yep.
Shift it to 78, drop 500 RPMs, great. If not, then we'll work on it. But it will couple really fast up top. So when you make the gear change, it'll couple fast again. And that'll shoot the mile an hour up because we were a little off. We were kind of off on mile an hour.
Based off of fuel flow. And,
Yeah.
I mean, because we probably put 1,500 wheel through it on that 7.9 pass at 175.
There was a lot of fuel flow.
But we're losing a lot of power.
What I calculated was like 30-something%, I think, on top.
Yeah, it was a good amount of slip.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this would probably go 180-something mile an hour.
I would hope so. Or
On that same tune-up?
I would be very irritated if we got to go back and look at motor stuff. If it's,
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
we need to be in the 180s somewhere.
And we got FL2K and Mod Nats coming up.
Right.
So we need this unit back in action.
Both of our cars are in pieces right now.
Yep. And then we decided to just throw a little, you know, upgrade into the bunch,
All
but
the inputs, all the outputs.
we got a Dominator going in.
We can do so much with this thing.
Gotta love changing everything right before 2 big races, but that's
fine.
yeah. It'll
We
be
got
fun.
enough data to.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We put everything together correctly. It's gonna be great.
All right, Jason. We got the glide in. What are we talking about here, Jason's 2 Chains Tech Tips segment?
I learned from somebody else's mistake. This is before I started doing auto stuff. The back spacing on the converter, or the converter spacing, excuse me. And what happens is people will go to a 400 or a glide or something or whatever, and they've only ever done manual transmissions and that kind of stuff.
Hi, that's me.
So, you know, he had me help him with this so he doesn't have to go through the growing pains. And a lot of the stuff, I just watched other people destroy their stuff, and I didn't do that, right? So when you're setting, when you got your transmission bolted up and your converter in, you want to check this little gap here, right? I stick some feeler gauges up in here. This isn't the exact way to do it. A lot of people do it with drill bits or washers or whatever. And I'll fill the space up here, and then I'll measure it. And we're getting about 164 right there. So this does not require any spacers. So that's 163. This is in between 1/8 and 3/16. An eighth was 125, so just a little bit more than that. You have to give the converter room to grow, but you want it to grow back towards the pump and not through the crankshaft.
Because
and the
what's
thrust
behind the
bearing,
crankshaft?
the thrust bearing.
You ever heard someone say thrust washers, which aren't typically a thing in manual transmissions unless you have a really aggressive, stiff clutch, a thrust is really not a common failure in a manual car.
No, it's just not, because you have nothing pushing against the crankshaft.
Yep.
This will. The converter will balloon, especially when you're on the trans brake. You got a lot of fluid going in there, and it's getting very hot. This thing will grow this way. Not a lot, but enough to where if you mount it solid, you will be buying a new engine, and it will destroy everything. When you kill that thrust, it will kill the rods, it will push the crank into the mains. It's not a good situation.
So this is allowing the converter, right? Because we're going to put the bolts in here, which means that it's going to come here.
Right,
But
so-
that does mean that it has the ability to move back under high stress scenarios.
Right, so we see this 160 gap, which is perfect, so we don't need any spacers, and we're just going to slide the converter forward and then bolt it to the flex plate. Now, when this thing grows, it has room to grow towards the pump of the transmission, which will be more than enough, and it won't kill the thrust.
So if you put your converter in there and it was too big of a gap, you would space it.
You would space it. So,
But if you put it in and you have no gap against the pump,
then
you
the pads on the converter would need to be shaped.
got to pull everything back out.
Right. So, well, let's say we didn't use a spacer, right? The factory spacer.
Mm-hmm.
A mid plate usually fixes this or whatever, but if we didn't use this plate, this is 063 right here, so we would be less than an eighth without the spacer, the factory little guy
Index
that goes in
spacer,
between
yep.
the transmission and the engine. So, yeah, people will tear it up. They'll push it all the way back. They'll shove whatever in it because they think it needs to be bolted solid. That's not true. You will kill everything. The transmission, including the pump too, because it's going to grow both ways, right? It's going to grow into the trans pump too.
Yep.
So it'll kill a whole drivetrain if you let it go far enough.
Yep.
Right? So that, and number two is if you buy a transmission off Marketplace or wherever and you're not sure where it came from, it's very important that you go to this exhaust port here. And a 400 and Power Glide are going to have these two transcooler lines. You want to put a pressure sensor, like a 200 psi pressure sensor, in that bottom exhaust port for the trans, the cooler line. And the reason why is, let's start the car up and you start going down the road, or you get up on the trans brake, and you've got 175 pounds of trans pressure, bye-bye thrust.
Right. It's going to push it.
Now, on a racing application, a lot of like higher end engines, they will have a thrust bearing or a roller bearing, not in the tail shaft. There's also a roller bearing for the engine that gets rid of the crank-driven oil pump, right? And it will ride the crankshaft on a roller bearing, so you can turn the trans pressure up, so it will push the crank into the roller bearing and not kill the thrust, but you're able to run tons of trans pressure. but not most guys ain't gonna do that. So don't.
Right.
So yeah, pressure sensor and that. If you do those two things, like you're gonna have a good time.
Yep.
You're not gonna hurt anything.
I think we're about ready to put some bolts in there and
Yep.
get this thing buttoned up. We got the trans in, drive shaft, all that stuff is good, but we don't have an ECU. And that's where the good old Dominator comes in. So I'm gonna be making a full video on everything you need to know about swapping Dominator into your Terminator X car. It can be LS, Coyote, whatever. But this is going to be the next step in Nightmare's transformation to go deeper into the sevens and be a little bit more competitive. The weight difference alone is astonishing, honestly. I mean, this thing feels like a heavy laptop, and the other one felt like a lightweight Frisbee. So it should plug in with the exception of O2 sensors. This uses the LSU49, which is actually kind of the more common sensor. You can get it readily available. And the new Dominator uses a different O2 sensor, so we might actually have to order that because I kind of forgot about that. All right, we are fired up on the Dominator. Check it. Hey Jason, the car's under some serious construction here now, right?
Yes.
And what did I do? What's sitting behind you?
This nice built deal.
Do a little intake swap too.
Third one of the day.
Yeah.
24 hours.
We got
Got a little bit of a mess though. Nothing there.
fully under construction.
But the ECU's mounted now. With new carbon.
Yeah.
Tim McCamus carbon.
This guy has seen 41 pounds of boost and held it down.
42.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
And it sustained 38. It saw a spike of like 41, 42, but it sustained 38. But it is not a boost proofed. This is a just ported Boss, and at some point that thing is going to come apart.
Probably not.
Well, maybe I'll leak. Like Chambly.
Yeah, I mean, you could inject ethanol in there and then...
What do you call Mr. Michael Chambly?
Silver Surfer.
Because why was that? Because he came in 2.
He comes the second a lot. But we still love him, though.
Now we're gonna put the billet intake on, and we're gonna clean it up. I'm gonna impulsively buy a catch can so I can get rid of my budget catch can and make this thing look real nice. We actually pulled the charge pipe off to get it powder coated, so I think it's gonna look pretty trick. You know, a nice black. Clean up a little bit of this engine bay here while we're doing, while we're in here and rewiring everything. We're slowly but surely getting there. Got the Dominator mounted on some carbon fibre. We are making progress. Oh, polishing the pipe, dude. So, things have escalated on my little, FL2K prep.
Yeah, now he's actually doing some cosmetic stuff for once.
Well, the setup worked really well. It wasn't like super ugly, but it wasn't super clean and pretty. I just bought a catch can for motion. We got the billet intake on, and then I was like, dude, it's time. We need the charge
guys,
pipe.
the front bumper still looks cooked.
Yeah, so I said, Blake, and we need to test the trans brake like tomorrow. So I said, can we powder coat this tonight? He said, yes, come on down, brother. And we had some other parts. We got James's valve covers. Those are going wrinkle blue.
Those would be sweet.
I know he's watching this right now. He's gonna get so excited. That's gonna look good. All right, so we got the new converter in here. We got the refreshed trans power glide from FTI, and we got a lot of changes. We got the Dominator, everything. we're gonna start doing some trans brake testing. Our goal is to be able to spool this up. The very first one we're gonna do is without the dump valves, and we're gonna see how it does, and then we're gonna wire the dump valves. We actually have an internal and an external, and our goal is to get this thing to spool up as fast as possible, hit the target boost, and go down track. So let's go try one trans brake test without the dump valves, just to get a baseline, and we'll hook up the dump valves up and see how fast we can get this thing to spool. With changing everything has been rewired. So we did some testing on the shifter, the air shifter, to make sure it worked. Got rid of a lot of wiring. We're doing a lot of testing with everything, and we're gonna go to Orlando Speed World tonight, which is gonna be in the next video. But this thing has come a very, very long way in a short period of time. Of course, we're next to the FL2K next week. So the goals for testing tonight is to go faster to the 60 foot. The quarter mile time is not necessarily important. We're trying to chop down that 60 foot and eighth. If we go to the quarter, we may not, but it really depends how tonight goes. So make sure you guys hit the like button down below. It helps get this video out to more people, and doing some crazy stuff here with old Nightmare here. So if you guys like it, leave a comment down below and subscribe if you're new. We'll see you in the next one.